spiritual life when you truly serve Him, including charity. He was 158 years old, and they gave him a splendid funeral. And Hannah died, and he buried her beside his father. And then Tobias went back with his wife and his sons to Ekatana, to Raguel, his father-in-law. And he reached an honored old age, and he gave his father-in-law and his mother-in-law splendid funerals, and he had inherited their property, and their father Tobit, and he died in Ekatana in Medea at the age of 127. But before he died, he heard all of the destruction of Nineveh, which Nebuchadnezzar and Ashurus had captured. So before he died, he rejoiced over Nineveh. All right, that's it. That's the end of the book of Tobit, and it ended well. But God let them hear what was coming up on the heathen. See, God dealt with those that led them into captivity too, because they usually went overboard. So he also set them up to be punished as well, as the nation of Israel for backsliding and serving pagan and heathen gods. And speaking of pagan and heathen gods and serving them, we have a pagan heli day that's coming up. I've told you I cringe through all these pagan heli days that was foisted on us by pagan Rome. Christmas. Massa was the barley cake baked to the Queen of Heaven. You can read about it in Jeremiah 10. Christmas was being recognized, was being observed by the children of Israel long before, over 400 and some years before Christ even came, in the book of Jeremiah 10, when he was cutting down Christmas trees and decorating them. It's a pagan heli day. And I suggest, no different than I suggested, that you ignore Halloween, Easter, Ishtar, and Valentine's Day, and all the rest of these pagan holidays, with the exception of Thanksgiving, which I do observe. Happy Thanksgiving, if you don't hear from me. But ignore all these pagan holidays. You might as well pull out a Ouija board if you put a Christmas tree in your front room. It's no different. It's a pagan phallic symbol. And Nimrod. And I probably will teach on it. I've taught on it. I believe it's the ancient occult. I believe it's the name of the title, but I've taught on Christmas. Synagogue of Satan, ancient occult or something. I think that's the title. But if you would call yourself a true Bible-believing Christian, put away your pagan idols. That's what the children of Israel thought they could do. They could mix this Antichrist heli day with the Jewish faith that God gave them through Moses that day. It's no different than the Christian faith. Satan is great in disguising these heli days, coming as an angel of light to lead his people astray. It's a celebration of Satanism, as all Christmas is, but a Christian Mass. It's an ancient heli day, an occult day. It goes back to Babylon, ancient Babylon. Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz worship the Antichrist. They're the Antichrist religion. They're the satanic trinity. That's what this heli day celebrates. Rome, the pagan Catholicism, put a Christian Mass on this heli day in 433 AD. Pope Sixtus the third, 666, when his name equivocates to, nationalizes them, along with all the other pagan holidays that's been forced on us. And all my days are named pagan and months named pagan. The influence Rome has had on the quote-unquote Protestant church. In the early founding of this nation by the Pilgrims, they didn't recognize no Christmas or none of these other pagan holidays. Halloween and the rest of it. Ishtar, Easter, is all occult days. They were all winter solstice, summer solstice, fall and spring solstice, pagan holidays, where they burned children in the fire to Moloch and Baal and Shemuth and these pagan fallen angel demonic entities. That's of Satan. So don't celebrate these pagan holidays. You can't Christianize. You read Deuteronomy 18, Leviticus 18. God made it clear you can't mix his faith with demons' faith. And then if that ain't good enough for you, read the New Testament. In 1 Corinthians 10:19. You can't hold God's hand and Satan's hand. You can't observe these pagan holidays and worship. They be worshiping or Christianizing and worshiping Christ. Satan and the devil, Christ and the devil don't mix. The Bible says all you're doing is provoking God to jealousy by observing these pagan holidays. And I'm talking to you. You got a lot of Bible thumpers out there. They can't wait to go grab that phallic, erect penis of Nimrod and stick it in their front room and deck it with the balls of Tammuz. They used to cut the animal's balls off and dip them in gold and silver. All you ladies got is a phallic symbol with balls on it. Sexual veneration. Occult with the squirrel and serpent that went around it. And a star of Rephaim on top. It's a total occult, blasphemous holiday that God hated. Read Jeremiah 10 for yourself. He hated this holiday. And it's because of the observance of these holidays that you read in the book of Isaiah, the book of Jeremiah, the book of Ezekiel, and showed Ezekiel what they did behind closed walls as they worshiped these same pagan deities and these pagan holidays. The women were worshiping, the women were weeping for Tammuz. All these holidays go back thousands of years. Nothing new under the sun, the Bible says. These are all demon-inspired, satanic holidays. So if you call yourself a real Christian, the Bible says to come out from Babylon. These are Babylonian holidays. Be ye separate, saith the Lord. Get my teaching on come out from Babylon, God's peculiar people, I believe that's the title. Come out. Denounce these holidays. Stand up. That's part of being a real Christian in a pagan world. I renounced these pagan holidays as soon as I understood the light and shook the pressure that was put on me many years ago. I haven't celebrated none of these pagan holidays. Despite the intense pressure everywhere you go, all the stores, the whole world. The Bible said that which is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of God. Christ said that himself. God hates your Christmas. God hates your Halloween. God hates your Easter. And God hates your St. Valentine's Day and any other pagan holiday that isn't God inspired. Like I said, I definitely celebrate Thanksgiving. But other than that, these other pagan holidays has been around thousands of years. They're celebration of demons, and they involve child sacrifice. And that's a fact. And all of it is occult and pagan. You can't find any New Testament Christians in the New Testament observing any of these pagan holidays. It was denounced. You cannot mix the pure faith of Christianity with paganism. That's exactly what the Catholic Church do. That's what they represent. They mix paganism and Christianity. They made a state religion out of it called the Universal Church, the Catholic Church. Catholics means universal. You can't do the two. You can't mix God and the devil. So I hope you take this, and I hope you enjoyed the Book of Tobit. The Book of Tobit, I hope you enjoyed. The Apocrypha, 1611, King James, the Book of Tobit. Now, if I'm the one that taught you, give. Go to streetpriestministry.org, hit the donate button. Tithes, first fruit, alabaster box, belong to the Lord only if I touch you. I didn't teach you anything, you don't own anything. The Bible says if you've been taught spiritual things, communicate material things to the one that taught you. And only if I taught you. Good day, good evening, good night to you around the world. May you go in faith in Christ Jesus' mighty name.